Located on Jalan Sultan Ismail between Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman and Jalan Raja Laut, our site stands at the raw entrepreneurial heart of the city. It is located near three rivers, which are Gombak River, Sungai Bunus, and Klang River. Our site functions as a car park that operates from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. It serves as a parking area for Tune Hotel customers as well as white-collar workers from nearby offices. The area of our site is 1,700 square meters with no setback requirement other than the Kaki Lima. The plot ratio for our site is 1 to 8.5 with a total buildable height of 5 levels. Our site's ground level is higher than the primary road, Jalan Sultan Ismail. It is the same height as the curb. Back in year 2004, the area was prone to flash flood, but the issue was later solved by the completion of Smart Tunnel in year 2007. Our site is home to both formal and informal planting. Formal planting to the east is by DBKL and consists of common name of Cittonia macrophylla and Kaya senegalensis. The average diameter of 600 mm to 1000 mm and the average height of 15 meters to 30 meters. These types of tree are normally used for city landscape as it grows fast and have a white crown. Informal plantings such as mango trees were planted by the local that stays on the site. Within our microsite, several bus stops can be found nearby. This could be the reason for the existence of public toilet located next to the Liberty Tower. It is designed for the pedestrian and cyclist. The site is also surrounded by lampposts and spotlights behind the Tune Hotel. Although all lampposts are facing out from the site, our site still receives a fair amount of light from surrounding light source at night. Our site is surrounded by high-rise buildings and trees except for southeast, which is facing Jalan Sultan Ismail Road. Therefore, it benefits from passive shading, more so from east, north, and west as buildings to the south is located across Jalan Sultan Ismail and so further away. Direct solar heat gain is therefore limited to noon hours to evenings. It is noted that reflective surfaces are part of existing high-rise facade treatment. This has detrimental impact to microclimate as it directs heat to the ground and neighboring buildings. Example, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., JKG reflects heat and sunlight to the site. The simulation chart showcased the spring equinox 21st March, summer solstice 22nd June, and winter solstice 22nd December. The spring equinox is where the sun is at the median angle to the horizon, resulting in median days and median shadows. Sun is received by the north facade. During summer solstice, sun travels far from north as its highest angle to the horizon, thus resulting in longer days and shorter shadows. Similar to spring equinox, sun is received by the north facade. As seen, the site is at its brightest at 12 p.m. in comparison to spring equinox where it appears to be partially shaded due to the neighboring buildings. Also noted, light still penetrates the site at 6 p.m. During winter solstice, sun travels south at its lowest angle to the horizon. This will result in shorter days, longer shadows, and south-facing receiving sun. 8 a.m. is relatively shaded, appears brighter by 10 a.m. and shaded again 12 p.m. onwards. Other contributing factor to the minimal sunlight received is the high-rise building located on the south towering over the site. Wind flows from southwest to northeast at an average speed of 6 km per hour, providing sufficient amount of air movement to our site. With that said, rainfall generally follows the direction of the wind. The average temperature of our area is approximately 26 degrees Celsius with a humidity ratio of 0.008 and a relative humidity of 38%. Over the period of time, Kuala Lumpur City has made significant improvements and changes to keep up with the revolution of eras. In year 1962, the building masses were in clustered manners and appeared to be in smaller scales. The public roads were only Jalan Sultan Ismail and Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman and were not as spread out across the city as it is in current time. In year 2018, building masses is seen to be arranged in a more uniform manner and in a larger scale. The public roads have seen to be connecting the accessibility of the city. Other than that, LRT, MRT paths, and pedestrian bridges is introduced to further aid and improve circulation on site. Conclusion, development has absorbed all green space between Gombak River and Klang River. It went into a cycle of construction, demolition, amalgamation, and reconstruction, and now it's going through another cycle, which is the opportunity to design and build. The land use on site seems to be dominated by retails of restaurants and shop lining along the roads. The most significant ones are Restaurant Muhammad Yasim, Quill City Mall and Mara Digital Mall, and Pertama Complex. The site is slowly developing into a commercial area as the number of office towers increases. These office towers would later become a local landmark on site, for instance Menara TH Perdana, Wisma Saim Darbi, and Menara Tun Ismail Muhammad Ali. As the population continues to grow and populate the area, institutional buildings are built to fulfill the needs of local community. they can be categorized under public institution and private institution. For public institution, the Bank Simpanan Nasional, Balai Polis Chalkit and Pejabat Pos Medan Tuanku, as well as school from primary education to tertiary education, which are Apa Tamil Primary School, Sekolah Kebangsaan Perempuan Jalan Batu, and University Kuala Lumpur. As for private institution, they can include CIMB Bank, Liberty Insurance, and Queen's College. The area is also a nest for hospitality industry as it is located near Kuala Lumpur City Centre, which is a well-known tourist attraction. A number of budget hotels can be seen throughout the site. There are also prime hospitality brands such as Grand Continental Hotel Kuala Lumpur, Prescott Hotel, and Sheraton Imperial Kuala Lumpur. Other than that, there are a number of light industrial usage involved in the area in the form of vehicular repairing workshops. Some of the lands are abandoned and later being used as an open parking area. This is due to the reason of high car park demands for public users and profit is higher to operate, and open parking space is higher as it requires low maintenance costs. The planning of land use on site is uncomposed as there exists the placement of underdevelopment timber houses that are a stone throw away from the luxury condominium projects such as the Colony by Infinitum and Anggun Residence. The population growth of our country is proven by the table to have been continuously going up. However, the live birth and death rate remains around the same amount. Live birth rates are recorded at approximately 500,000 while the death rates remain around 130 to 150,000. The population of our country is currently at 32 million. Federal territory of Kuala Lumpur holds 5.6% of it, which is around 1.8 million people, while 1.7% of it is from the internal migrants. The reason why people migrate out of Kuala Lumpur to other cities are caused by the desire of living in different environment, to be closer to their families and to seek for a better future, better opportunities in life. The population is estimated to reach 4.5 million in 2014 with an annual population growth rate decreasing from 1.8% in the year 2010 to 0.8% in 2040. The average population growth rate decreases by 0.05% per year. The average structure of the population can be categorized into three groups: the young age 0 to 14, the working age 15 to 64, and the old age of 65 and above. The percentage of old age is expected to increase significantly in the future years, presumably affected by decreasing of birth rates. It is evident that the area consists of many office towers and shop houses that are unoccupied or of low occupancies. This could bring unwanted conditions to the site but could also mean that the site is available for an opportunity to be improved. It is expected that the existing residential property will amalgamate and become higher density residential developments. The function of the spaces are changing over time and will continue to change in the future. Therefore, the building must look into a longer use and short-term flexibility to maximize efficiency. In the morning, most shops remains closed due to the fact that most of them operates from 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Hence, there is not much activity going on in the morning for pedestrians. During lunch hour, majority of retailers, institutions, and commercials are already open for business. The reason being is the opportunity available for business from working individuals who will be looking for places to have their lunch break. 6 p.m. is a time when most of the population in the area leave, hence the street and public transport will be busiest at this hour. Most shops would be closing down as well. However, some of the restaurants would be only beginning to operate from this hour. We could observe the transition of nature of the place from its day life to nightlife. Most shops would be closed by now. However, the place would be more vibrant than it was in the daytime, especially on weekend nights. Some of the most famous local food spots are responsible for this. Most people still wanders around the area, spends time in public due to the lower temperature and the available activities, the restaurants. This shows that our site never sleeps and it has different energy functions at different times, allowing it to have many potential to be developed. However, any proposed design must be sensitive to this and synergize with these different energies. Two contrasting architecture styles is distinguished within the area, one being the model style constructed in the 2000s and the other is the traditional style constructed in the 1960s and 1980s. This traditional style building tends to have a maximum height of 18 meters while the modern high-rise building are pushing 100 meters. The difference in height contributes to the fluctuated skyline. In addition to that, most of the building around our site are high-rise, making it difficult to be noticed. In our site, there are modern-style buildings which are classified into international style and modernism. Also, there are traditional-style buildings such as Art Deco, straight eclectic, and neoclassical. Our site sits in the center of all these different styles, giving our building an opportunity to celebrate the diversity and also richness of urban life. Our site is accessible by the means of public transport, which are light rail transit, LRT, mass rapid transit, MRT, bus, taxi, and grab car service. Jalan Sultan Ismail LRT station is located from 10 minutes walking distance to site. Sultan Ismail LRT station is located around the end of Jalan Sultan Ismail. It stands between Sekolah Kebangsaan Laki Jalan Batu and Chung Kok Primary School. This station is an elevated Ampang and Putra Height Line station, connecting to PWTC and Bandaraya LRT station. The MRT station, on the other hand, is located about 5-minute walking distance away from the site through the pedestrian bridge. This station serves as a part of KL Monorail and is connected to Chowkit and Bukit Nanas MRT station. LRT serves to allow accessibility to and from station out of Kuala Lumpur, while MRT only circulates around Kuala Lumpur. There are 4 bus stops within 200-meter radius from our site. These buses travel along the primary routes around our site. Public transport accessibility on site can be concluded to be very well connected to other stations and places off and in Kuala Lumpur City. This provides an opportunity for our site in terms of public transportation accessibility. Users could navigate to our site from existing public transportation station with ease and without hassle. There are mainly 3 primary routes on site, which are Jalan Sultan Ismail, Jalan Raja Laut, and Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman. These 3 primary routes provide accessibility to and from our site to other areas. Each of the roads are made out of 4 to 5 lanes. The remaining routes are the secondary route with 1 to 2 lanes. The arrow on the diagram point out the direction of the road. Bicycle lanes are installed in front of our site for cyclists to travel throughout the site. There is also an elevated pedestrian bridge built to link MRT and LRT station with our site. This helps us to keep the pedestrians safe from undesirable conditions while traveling to and from our site. Our site can easily be accessible not only in terms of vehicular but also the pedestrians nearby. The vehicular nodes in the area are very straightforward. They mainly occur at traffic intersection points and caused by traffic lights. There are a constant temporal node that clears when the traffic light turns green and occur when the traffic light turns red. For nighttime, the nodes can be found in the RSMY Best Cheese Naan restaurant. It occupies the 5-foot walkway for 5 neighboring shop lots during its peak. Another node occurs at Jalan Sultan Ismail signage. The empty space during the daytime is host for many food stalls at night. It comes alive with the help of busking performances. Along the street, another node can be found, the Thai boat noodle. It only opens at night and is uncommon to see customers lining up to dine. Further down the same street is the Nasi Kandar restaurant called Muhammad Yasim. It is also responsible for one of the nodes. Most of the customers take away their order from the restaurant. It is safe to conclude that food is the attraction for the population at night. It also proves that the area has nightlife status and is sometimes more interesting to visit at night than during the daytime. There are a few recognizable buildings that stood out on site. The international landmark are none other than the JKG Tower, which stood highest among our site. Menara TH Perdana and Maju Junction Mall opposite our site come second in terms of height and being distinctive. They are both second tallest and have non-traditional form compared to the building around them. Within a few steps away are the famed 8-story Thun Hotel with its striking facade color and design. The 2 most noticeable local landmarks on site are the 2 train stations on site, Sultan Ismail LRT station and Medan Tuanku MRT station. Maybank, SK Laki Jalan Batu School, and none other than the hotspot RSMY Best Cheese Naan are a few of the local landmarks. Surrounded by these prominent landmarks, pedestrians are able to look out for reference points to navigate to our site. Nice vistas of the city are interrupted at some point, such as cityscape opposing our site is partly obstructed by the elevated walkway, which also prevents into the site of public into our site. Another visual edge in front of Thun Hotel, which is within walking distance from our site, is intercepted by the MRT route from Medan Tuanku Station, halting the field of vision from Menara TH Perdana to immediate opposing side. On the other hand, Jalan Sultan Ismail, the elevated walkway becomes an edge when it blocks the site from either side of Jalan Raja Laut. There are a few elements within the set radius bordering the path of pedestrians. The 2-way road with 4 lanes along Jalan Sultan Ismail acts as a disconnector, making it an edge. Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman divides both sides with one directional 4-lane road where elevated walkways are absent, creating difficulty for road crosser on the other end of Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman, which is opposite our site. A 5-lane main road becomes an edge when there is no presence of elevated walkway or other pedestrian walks. In reality, cities are designed basing on people who live there. Too much ordered city can become dull, while too much regularity can become annoying. hence their vision brings cities back to health. Blocked by the elevated walkway. The view into our site is interrupted by looking into enclosure draws the viewers inwards. It suggests occupancy, security, and attachment. With one side of the building being modern, opposing the other of quaint, the change of style imparts emotion response. The right implies intimacy while the left implies superiority. With the dissimilarity of building styles on both sides and obstructed view of the cityscape by the elevated walkway, it is not a sight for sore eye. However, nettling it draws the eyes and brings the distance forward and framing or capturing its detail. The limitation of vision creates a close vista which increases the sense of being here. This is a common available tool for creating intimacy. Within 500 meters from our site, there are hardly any activities or events being held throughout the year of record from September 2017 to August 2018, as our site is not the most flourishing area. Nevertheless, there are sprinkles of events happening from the 500-meter radius. A weekly event started when a group of teachers and professionals with a mission to provide free education to children and working poor of Child Kit. Hence, Buku Jalanan Child Kit was formed in 2015 and is still going on at 8:30 p.m. every Sunday. To support the Go Green campaign, KL Car Free Morning is formed, which is happening every fortnight on the first and third Sunday of every month, where roads will be closed in order to participate to cycle, jog, skate, and walk. Beside KL Car Free Morning, Jalan Sultan Ismail is included in two routes of other events, namely Howay Child Kit Run and Yayasan Run. Being one of the largest wet market in town, the Child Kit Wet Market food tour was started to take visitors on street and culinary tour. Not forgetting the people in need, Patui Soup Kitchen set up an organization to feed the unfortunate on the 8th July and have been distributing approximately 700 homeless and poor individuals 4 times a week. These are the location of the events and activities being held in the set radius around our site. Our site is not at all perfect. It is flawed with some issue that goes unnoticed unless carefully observed. The first problem would be the construction debris could be seen near the existing public toilet. Because the area is secluded, hence people could take advantage of it and leave debris on our site. Next major issue would be the homeless community in the area. They can be easily spotted wandering around or sleeping on the streets. The homeless community consists of both adults and children, which is why we must not turn a blind eye on this matter. Our site could be an opportunity for developments to cooperate homeless feeding activities by communities such as Community Heroes and Pertiwi into our co-working space. This could organize the structure of event and improve food waste issue management. Located in Bangsa, APW was first established in 1952 as Art Printing Works, a commercial printing factory. Art Printing Works was a well-known brand in the printing industry back in the 60s to the 80s. APW came into life in the year 2014. It stands for A Place Where. The purpose of this reformation is to utilize the space within the printing factory. It houses a variety of space such as printing factory, collaborative workspace, food and beverage, event space, and pocket parks. The core of APW Bangsa is to bring people into different backgrounds together to encourage a creative culture. Hence the user range from professional car racers to housewives. Started back in 2013, Brooklyn Boulder Somerville is a rock climbing space that merged fitness with art, music, technology, co-working, and events. Out of 28,000 square feet, of a total 40,000 square feet is a climbing space. Other than the rock climbing, it provides other fitness programs such as yoga classes, fitness training, co-working space, hangout lounge, and community events. Brooklyn Boulder's BKB aims to bring diverse groups together to forge a cohesive, vibrant community. Bring the line between work, life, and play is the ultimate goal for BKB. Situated between many different nodes of transport such as LRT, MRT, primary roads, bus stops, and taxi stops, users of mentioned transportation forms would have no trouble navigating to our site without compromising their safety.